You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Thanks so much for joining me here today on this Motivation and Mindset Monday. I'm looking forward to hopefully inspiring the both of us to make this one of our best weeks yet. Really looking forward to today's show topic, where I want to help you 9 specific ways. So 9 specific ways to help pull you out of a low mood. And we all get them. We really do. Sometimes it's once a week. Sometimes it's once a day. Or it could be ongoing, right? But what I want you to do is understand that there are real proven ways that you can implement in your life whenever you need them. Or please pass this on to a friend, a family member, a coworker when they're in a low mood as well and they need a little boost, right? We all do from time to time. Maybe it's not today, but you might need it tomorrow. So what I want you to know is when it comes, when that time comes, how to pull yourself out of it. And, to be real honest, these are things that I do essentially every single day in my life, so that I don't try to get into that low mood in the first place. What I found is that it's always easier to stay where you're at rather than have to pull yourself out of something. Meaning, like, it's easier to stay in a good relationship if you're always doing the work to make the relationship good. Same with career, right? If you're always trying to get ahead, if you're always trying to put in the study and put in the work to advance, in your own knowledge, easier to stay there, right? Or move ahead. Same with health. Don't stop eating the good food. Don't stop exercising. Don't stop taking nutritional supplements. Like all of those things that keep you there, and goes on and on. Your spirituality. Well, if you kind of forget about it for a couple months, well, it might start to falter. So that's how I look at it. I want you to use these things on a daily basis. But if not, if you just want to implement them when you're feeling a little low, absolutely, that's okay as well. So let's get right into it. The first way, one of the first things that I talk about as well in my practice too, is if I can tell, and I can tell because I've been doing this many, many times, and I've seen somewhere around 30,000 client appointments myself, and my team's done over 250,000. So when we look at that, so much data, and we have so much psychological data on people and where they're at as well, we know some people need a little boost in the mind rather than just in the body alone. And I write about this in my book, The Rain Barrel Effect, where I talk about this mantra, and I can never remember how to pronounce his name, but let's say it's Émile Coulier, and I don't know if that's correct at all, but I like it, and I'm going to go with it for right now. So what he was he was a psychologist and a doctor, and he gave people this mantra to say when they weren't well. He said, every day, in every way, I'm feeling better and better. Or every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. That's what he said. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Now, you can apply that to any single part of your life. What about spirituality, relationships, health, body transformation, career? Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. What does it mean? Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better because I'm taking those steps to become better and better. And that's where it gets to stick in life. So what I had people do is just repeat this at least 3 times a day. Or ideally, just keep saying it over and over and over, and it will stick. So one of the first ways you can develop your own mantra or saying, and that just means, what do you need to push you forward in life? Right now, where are you struggling? Do you need to feel healthy? All right. Well, you have to tell yourself first that you are healthy, that your body is just a step away, that you're so close. And I really believe that for the majority of people. I mean, I have people email into my practice and they're in the wrong mindset. Like, oh, I don't know. Do you help anybody with lupus? Well, we help everybody. And that's because lupus or your Hashimoto's or whatever, meaning like no disrespect, but it's a symptom. And if you want us to treat your symptoms, no, we don't do that. What we look at is, okay, what's going on as to why you might have lupus? Because there's so many different reasons. Same for your autoimmune, same for alopecia, same for the psoriasis and eczema, and name it. You name the dis-ease of the body, and I will tell you it's most likely a symptom. Now, it's a symptom that should go away. I don't disagree with that. But there's a deeper mindset to look at, and that's understanding, and that's why it's all about the mind oftentimes, that there's other things that we have to look at. So get that mind right first. The second thing is set a lower goal. Don't set the goal tomorrow that you need to overcome the autoimmune issue. Set the goal tomorrow of things that you can actually tangibly touch and do on your own, that is within your control. So aim low, meaning like you've never gone to the gym, right? It's been years. So now, do you put the pressure on yourself to go 5 times this week? No. Your goal is to exercise once. Set the bar low. Accomplish that win, and then you can move forward. So set it really low. Oh, I need to eat better. Okay, we'll start with breakfast. Do something like the Purple Crush smoothie that I talk about. I mean, it's on every single podcast page. You can just scroll down and get that free smoothie report. It's literally what I drink almost every morning. I can assure you it is the number one recommendation I give people. I get asked on a podcast, what's the number one health thing that you would recommend to people? Drink a smoothie for breakfast. Why? People are dehydrated. They don't even drink any water in the morning. They're drinking either sugar-colored water, which is essentially what we call juice in most countries because it's not fresh pressed, and it's been heated. It's just sugar. That's it. There's no fiber in it. And they're not drinking water. They're mainly drinking coffee, right? And along with that coffee, they might be grabbing something quick to go or skipping breakfast. Hydrate your body. Fuel it up with some low glycemic berries, something like our daily nutritional support powder or the daily fruit and vegetable blend. Give your body everything it needs so that your body and mind have the energy to carry you through the day. Like, do something. Don't change your lunch and change your dinner right away if you're not ready for it. Just change your breakfast, right? And that will lead to the next step. So set lower expectations. Your expectations on yourself right now might be dragging you down. And the reason they're dragging you down is because you feel overwhelmed with all of these things that you need to accomplish that you don't know how and you've never even tried before. Set the expectations just a little lower for right now. I'm not saying they should stay there. What I'm saying is then you'll move up to that next level, right? That's what it's all about right there. All right, the next thing too is that we need to stop ruminating in all of these bad thoughts, right? All of these negative thoughts. Now, the reason I say that, and of course, easier said than done, because once you're in that vicious cycle where it's like you just get stuck, it's a loop, right? And that playback loop is essentially saying, I'm in a bad spot, thinking about the bad spot, creating images in your head of that bad spot. That's looping back to more negative feelings. That negative feelings is bringing you back to the exact same thing that you don't want. We need to somehow focus on the opposite of what you're thinking about right now. But the best way to do that is this is what I do. If I'm in a bad mood, I'm having a bad day, I try, if possible, to talk about it with someone else, okay? That allows me to then verbalize it and get it off my chest. If you don't have that person, that's okay. Maybe you can talk about it on an online chat or something like that. Like whatever works for you, I think is a great thing just to get it out, okay? Or maybe you're working with a therapist right now. But the problem sometimes, and again, I love therapists and I love therapy. I have nothing against that. But you don't want to talk every week about the same problems, right? You don't. At some point, you need to then be focusing on what you can do to move towards something positive in life. Because if you're talking about the negative things, you're focused on the negativity in your life. And I know this is getting a little deep. I've spoken about this in depth on other podcasts. But if you think about negative things, you're drawn more towards negative things, and the loop continues on with negativity. Now, by focusing on something positive, something that you want to create in your life, new thoughts are forming, hopefully more positive ones. It does not negate the negative place you're in right now. It's just more focused on, somebody throw me a lifeline. How do I pull myself up on that lifeline instead of disregarding the lifeline and simply staying down in that dark, dank pit? So, okay, so we need to move away from that. So typically what I do is I say, okay, today wasn't a good day. What am I going to do? Maybe I'll chat with my wife. We'll talk about it at night. And then what I say is, tomorrow's a new day. That's literally how I always end my conversation with who I'm talking about. But tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's a new day. That's it. And I've created a mindset now where something bad can happen, but the next day is a new day. That's it. And I'm not dealing with that problem in the same way. It'll still be there potentially, but I'm not dealing with it in the same way. The next day is moving towards the actions that I can control. And I'll be talking about that just a little later in the show today as well. All right, so that's kind of stopping that vicious cycle, breaking that. The fourth one that I like to do is I like to do something that pulls me into that positive direction, okay? So I like to then make one action, right? Do one thing. And it's typically something that I enjoy doing, right? Something that like makes me feel good. Now it could be, let's say, go taking a walk. Like, so again, when I'm having a stressful day, I love being out in nature. Again, even though I live in the city, I'll call it my little nature. I like getting out into the city and going for a walk. I like being around other people. I like all of those things. And so that's what I will do. I would do something for more of that positivity. Another thing that other people do, they get dressed up, they go out to dinner with friends, and they're doing something to pull themselves out of that low spot. So I just kind of call it like fake it. You have to fake it until that happiness comes along, or you push that negativity to the side. Again, you could be dealing with real, serious, deep issues with health or family-based issues or relationship issues or career-based issues, whatever it might be. And I understand that. But what I need you to do is you can't break the cycle. You can't move forward to figuring out your life until you push that negativity aside for a moment, get yourself into a more positive space where then the positive thoughts allow then for new thoughts of ways that you never thought about before of how you can then go ahead and transform your life. Okay, one of the other things that I like to do, this will be the fifth way, is exercise. Why? It's clinically proven to be more effective than the most powerful antidepressant. Okay, so if we know that by exercising, we can boost our own endorphins, and if we boost our own endorphins, we can essentially boost serotonin, boost a little dopamine, make ourselves feel more ambitious, more alive, more happy or happier, then we're able to then think about our current problems in a new light. That's what today's show is all about. It's not negating that the problems are there. We all have problems in life. We all go through it. And in some parts of our life, those problems are going to be stronger than others. But what we need to do is get into the positive state that allows us then to say, this is what I'm dealing with. Let's move through it in this particular way. All right? So exercising, one of the best things you can do. What should you do for exercise? Whatever would make you enjoy that form of exercise. Don't force yourself to do an exercise that day that you're not really interested in. If you love to run, go for a run. If you love going for a bike, go for a bike. You like to put on rollerblades? I don't know if anybody still rollerblades anymore, but if you like to put on rollerblades, go rollerblading. Have some fun. Enjoy yourself. Exercise can be fun. Go grab some friends, play some pickup basketball, do some indoor rock climbing, do martial arts, like whatever you're into, go do that. Do your favorite class, right? Your favorite spin class, favorite whatever. I'm not a huge boot camp advocate, but go do a boot camp, right? Whatever you're into, do that. Get yourself in that positive state. Breathe deeply, oxygenate your body, get those endorphins flowing. All right, number 6 is getting more into the question, asking that ultimate question that, how bad really is this situation? What's the worst thing that can happen? If that happens, where would I be? What would I have to do? And what could I do in order to minimize those negative things from happening, right? Worst case scenarios from happening. And what I like to do is this. I like to just think about it. So, for example, let's give you some examples. You're thinking about working with a personal trainer in your location because you want to lose weight, you want to get in shape. You're worried about the expense. You're worried about what if it won't work. You've tried diets in the past. So you think to yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen if I sign up for this program? Again, like pick whatever program you want because we'll start to relate different situations to do this. This is obviously a more minor one, but there's a lot of people out there, 2/3 of the population are overweight. Some of those people want to lose weight. They don't like being overweight. They don't like how it affects their self-image. They don't like how it affects their quality of life, their joint pain, all of those things. They just don't like it, and they want to change. Good. So let's help them change. But they say, I don't know the right plan. Well, what if you tried this plan and it didn't work out? Worst thing that can happen, you're right where you are right now. That's not that bad. Yes, you might have spent some money on it, but now, if you've been keeping track, you know one more thing that doesn't work for you. That's how I always look at it. Then what's the positive that you can take from that? Well, that one thing is something that you're never going to repeat, but I'm guaranteeing you, at least even if it didn't work, you learned a couple things that might help you on your next attempt. The same exact thing goes for health. Okay, I'm looking to work with a health practitioner. I don't know if they can help me because I've already worked with a dozen other people. They couldn't help me either. Worst thing that could happen, back where you are right now, right? But most likely, you learned a few new things. That's what I like to look at. Relationships. Oh, I don't know if that person's the right person for me to date, go out with, whatever it might be. Worst thing that can happen, they don't work out, but hopefully you met a nice person, right? You met a nice person, spent some time with them. Now let's get into some more worst case scenarios. What if I'm caring for a friend right now, they're quite sick, and they end up passing away? Well, that is going to make someone depressed, right? That is worst case, right? So better case is we could think, well, we're going to do our best to support them in every way that we can. Best case is that they know, even if they do pass away, again, because I work with people in my practice too, that some are quite sick, and some people are also, one of the reasons why they're sick themselves is they're caretaking for someone that's also very sick as well. Well, one other thing, though, of being that great friend is that person, even if they were to pass away, knows that they were surrounded by a lot of loved ones in their life, people that were willing to take time out of their day, their life, away from their friends, their family, to care for them or to spend some time with them. And that is always worth it in the end, if that is. But the more positive thing to be to focus on, we don't know what that outcome is going to be. So we're not going to worry about that outcome right now. If that does happen, that is worst case. Well, what if, because of all the love, all the support, all the education, all the information you bring them as well, that they do get better, right? Because there is a positive side to that. And I like to focus on that part. So there's always questions that you can ask. And by asking yourself those questions and being open to them and willing to talk it out, willing to journal a little bit, I believe that you're going to either come to a satisfactory resolution of what may or may not happen, and also then to be able to move forward in more of a positive light. Because you don't want those times that you do spend with that friend, if we stay with that scenario, to be negative. You don't want that. You want it to be positive. You want it to be positive for them, positive for you, so that you share whatever time that you may have left with that person. All right, number 7. Number 7 is this. We don't do this enough. Many of us accomplish goals or we get small wins in life, but we just move right on to the next one. I'm notorious for that. I'm probably the worst for that. It's like, okay, accomplish that. What's next? It's like, well, slow down for a minute, right? Reward yourself for it. Give yourself a little pat on the back. Don't be so overwhelmed with all that you have to accomplish that you're always moving from one thing to another. And for those people that are trying to lose weight, you didn't lose the 20 pounds yet, but you lost 2. Reward yourself for it. Give yourself at least the recognition that you did great, that you're on the right path, that you're moving forward. Maybe you even set up a little reward system. Humans like this. Our brains are hardwired to avoid pain and to move towards reward or benefit or results in a positive way. So what if you say every 10 pounds you lose, you're going to get a massage? A lot of people don't give themselves the gift of massage enough. Massage is one of those amazing things that's not a luxury, but actually a huge health benefit. It moves the lymphatic system. It opens up tight connective tissue or fascia. It allows for more free movement of the joints, less chance of injuries. Helps with circulation, removes waste from the cells, brings more oxygen to the tissues, and it heals. It gets the body into a deeper parasympathetic nervous system state, which is where healing can take place. So what if you accomplish something that you want in your life, or you do every 10 pounds you lose, or whatever it might be, that you reward yourself with a massage or pick whatever it is that you want? You know, it's a really nice thing to look at is that you can set up a healthy reward-based system, okay? We don't want to set it up with food, but we can set up with nice things that we like, right? Nice things that will also care for our body as well. Like maybe you buy yourself that pair of jeans or dress or whatever it is that you have picked out that you like once you get to a certain healthy body weight. Not a emaciated body weight, but a healthy body weight for you. Just things to think about. Same thing. People do it all the time with career. Okay, once I make X per year, I'm going to take that vacation to Europe or wherever it might be, right? So just think of it that way. You can do nice things for yourself, not necessarily put more pressure, but to give yourself another goal to be able to give yourself a little reward to it. Just acknowledge the work that you put in. All of us put in so much work on a daily basis, and oftentimes we forget to sit back, give ourselves that little pat on the back, and that pat on the back, even if it's only a quick one, a short one, hardwires the brain to want to accomplish more. But if you're only moving from one task to the next and there's never any time to stop and smell the roses, as they say, your brain's going to be like, what's the point? Why should I keep accomplishing all of these goals when it never ends? So remember, give yourself a little time. All right, number 8. Number 8 out of 9 is this. So many of us, and I work with a lot of health practitioners that are transitioning their practice from offline to a lot of it online, and they do social media and they sell their information or their courses or products or whatever it might be. And people post negative things on their Instagram or on their Facebook or whatever it might be. And they get really down and it affects them for the whole day. So one thing I need to tell them is that you're not going to even check your social media till lunch, and they get all like, what do you mean? That's my world. That's my life. I'm like, first of all, you need to build up your armor, your body's defenses, so that you don't take all of these things to heart. Meaning like, these are not directed at you, right? These are directed at that person saying them. You have to understand that in this world that we live in, our outer reflection, how we treat the world, how we live in the world, our overall thoughts is a reflection of our inner world. If you are mean to others, you are hurt on the inside. One of my favorite quotes is that only hurt people hurt people. And it's the truth. I used to hurt people. In my younger days, I wasn't that great a person. I really wasn't. I wanted to be. I think I really did, like deep down, but I was hurt and I hurt others. I was irritable. I was irritable to others. I was angry. I was mean to others. Like that's just how it worked. And that's because I wasn't taught any different. And I have that like pitta-based mentality, which you'll hear about tomorrow. I let it get the best of me. Was not in a happy place. Now I am. The world is different. What changed? I changed. That's it. Like literally, I changed. The people around me didn't change. Pretty sure they're the same people. Hasn't been that long, right? It hasn't been that long. What's changed is I changed. Every single year, I'm working on myself to get a little bit better. Not perfect. I also don't ever plan to be perfect. I do my best. Got a lot of weird quirks. I really do. But I'm going to keep some of those because that is part of who I am. And I'm okay with that. I really am. But the part that I didn't like was I didn't like a lot of times how I treated others. And so what I needed to do was I needed to fix me. And that's how I was able to change those things. So when you see people criticizing you, one is oftentimes they didn't mean it. They're looking at it from only their perspective. The second is they have a lack of information. Someone just posted on my Instagram. We had amazing comments. Like, let's say there was 100. One person said, "You're wrong here. Their body types have been proven to be false." And I'm like, I'm not going to even respond back. Why would I respond back? This person they're not educated. Like, that's it. And again, like, they can have their point of view. I can have my point of view. But body types have been proven for the last 5,000 plus years. And if you say, oh, I point to this one study, there's a study for everything. Everybody can prove their point of view. But all you need to do is line up 10 people in front of you. Do they look different? Look at the size of their wrists. Look at the size of their frame. Look at the size of their hips. Look at the size of their hands. Look at the shape of their head. Do you see different shapes? Yes. It's irrefutable. But am I going to get into that argument? Absolutely not. Neither should you. So what did I do? I said, great, that person has their opinion. And I also like to just say, but they've got a lot to learn. And that makes me feel better. Like, I'm just like, they're just not there yet. But sometimes people bring up something that makes I'm like, oh, you know what? They might be right. And then I look at that and it makes me a little bit angry for a second. I'm like, all right, but I can learn from that. That makes sense. I get it. They didn't say it in a very nice way, but I get it. You know, again, we all go through these different things. So just to all the health practitioners out there, because I know at least 25% of the people out there listening to this, not everyone, but a small fraction are health practitioners. And you have your practice and, you know, I hear about it all the time. They're talking negatively about some of your things. It's going to happen. Like, it's going to happen. We have one of the lowest refund rates in the entire industry. We know that because there's actually a statistic on our shopping cart that this shopping cart, there's over, I don't know, it's 250,000 or 500,000 people that use this specific shopping cart. And it says you have the top 1% in returns in your entire industry, which means we have the lowest returns that essentially you can get, or refunds, whatever you want to call it. But there are people out there that, one, it's just, they're not going to like it. Totally fine. Respect that, right? But some people are also just going to try to take advantage of you because some people are like that, right? It's just the way it is. Like, one person the other day, this is legitimate. This is just what you deal with. And I just want people out there, because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs, there's a lot of people listening to this, and I always want to share my journey with you as well. There was this couple, a woman who wrote in, and she said, I want to return 2 21-day Dr. Ball detoxes. And we said, okay, we don't get a lot of returns. And we're like, all right, can we ask you what was wrong? And she said, well, I just didn't really like the taste. And we say, okay, just return the bottles. That's what we ask for. We have an empty bottle guarantee. We always give you a refund within the 60 days. And she said, okay. She's like, but I completed the whole thing and so did my husband. And we were all like, my team just asked me, like, should we refund the person? And I said, so within 60 days. We have an empty bottle guarantee. Yes, we refund. Like, I like to live by good karma. But this person, they just said that the taste wasn't really for them. Totally fine. That's why a lot of people end up doing smoothies, things like that. And again, it's like, taste is subjective. Totally fine with that. No problem at all. But you use the whole 21 days. Both of you use it. They said they got good results. They just wanted to return it. That is on them. That is also what I want you to say, is that when other people are doing things like that, again, some people might say that's totally fine. That's acceptable. I would never do that. I think of karma as well. Like, you just returned 2 21-day. You got the results you were looking for. Just didn't just wanted your money back. Okay, like that's what we do, but you're going to find that in business in general. You can't let that upset you. You can't. And that goes for life in general. Like, let's say you're working with a health practitioner and there's a lot you like about them, but some stuff that you don't. Like, you have to understand from both perspectives, like, people are their own people and you have to respect that. You can't get mad at that. And if you let those things get mad at you, you're always going to encounter all of those people in life. Never let it get to you. At the end of the day, it's all good. That's how I look at it. I'm like, no problem at all. You know why? Because 99% of the people are very happy with the service. And if you get that same thing, expect 1% of people to just not kind of fit who you are. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. They're just not part of your community. That's it. That's what I talk about all the time. Just look for people in your community. All right, last one is this. Read something every single day, or listen to it, or watch something that inspires you. One of the best things to get yourself out of a bad mood or get you into a good mood is to start your day and end your day, which what I call anchors. Every single day. So I get up in the morning and I do my water with my lime and I do a pinch of sea salt and I do my daily fruit and vegetable blend and I mix that up. And oftentimes, again, I always talk about this. Sometimes I do a little raw honey or raw manuka. And I do that. And then I go right into the bathroom and I'm brushing my teeth and I'm just starting my day. I splash some water on my face. I wake myself up. That's how I start my day. I have the same routine. I go through this every single day. Right after that, I'm literally putting on a YouTube video that is going to inspire me, a podcast that's going to inspire me, and then I'm typically reading something for the day to inspire me. That is what I do. Podcast, video. It's something that I already have queued up that I know is going to get me into the right mindset. Why? I don't want to take a chance of what mindset I might get into. Negative, neutral, it has to be positive. So I get myself right into that mindset. The other thing I do is at the end of the day, I make my to-do lists, give gratitude for that day, everything that happened, good and bad, allowed me to learn in life, all of those different things. And then what I do is I make the to-do list to get everything off my mind. I don't want anything else on my mind when I go home to see my family. All right? It's their time. I have to understand that this is our family time. Okay, it's not my time. It's my time as a parent and a husband to be present for them. And then before I go to bed, I'm reading something that inspires me. All right, I'm reading something that puts me in the right mindset to learn, to grow. But again, maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's a video as well. But I'm always doing something to put something positive in my head before I go to bed that night. So those are the 9 ways I believe that can help pull you out of a low spot in life, or that can help you stay in a positive mindset, which is what I'd rather, every single day. Hopefully today's show was helpful. Hopefully you can learn a little bit about, things that we have going on in my practice, my life, everything that I see really over helping thousands and thousands of people. If it helped you, please do feel free to share this show with anyone else you believe it could serve. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com www.cabral.com/courses.